Hey there everyone, it's your boy Commander Krakdawg, and today I'm going to show you how to use the galaxy map in Elite Dangerous. Now, the first step you're going to want to do, you might already know, is click the 1 button, go over to your galaxy map in your navigation tab. That's right here, you can see where I'm going to, galaxy map on the left side. Go ahead and click that. And once we're in here, you can kind of scroll out with your mouse wheel and see all of the stars. Now, the first thing you're going to want to notice is that perspective is important here, okay? You can see I can kind of select these stars, but like out here, it's kind of impossible to select them way out here unless they're bookmarked, right? But if we zoom into them, right, see, they become a lot easier to select. So a little tip, right? Okay, so I'm gonna explain the different things on the left side and the ones on the right side once you click these things, and click stars and whatnot, right? And then I'll show you how to use the system map as well, and also some neat little quick tricks you can do to kind of get more information here. The first thing is your bookmark section, pretty straightforward. At most, I think you can have 100 of these, 150, something like that. You can see I've used them pretty much all up on the bubble and some areas out there. So be careful how many you're using. There's a limit. It's a hard limit. Sorry, and that counts for anything: planets, bodies, whatever you bookmark. They're all the same. All right, and we can also click colonies. This is kind of newer with system colonization to see all of your different colonies, and you can go in here and just click whichever one to see how they're doing. All right, pretty straightforward stuff there. Oops, let's go back to our galaxy map there. And on the left side, we're going to go to the fleet. This is your ships. Again, straightforward. It'll tell you where they are. This is active missions. Once again, very straightforward. Okay, now let's get to the real nitty gritty. Realistic mode. Okay, this is the mode I'm already on right now. It kind of shows you all of the stars as they are with a little bit of appropriate coloration, right? So this is like, we can tell it's probably an F star, or it's a G white yellow. Sorry, my bad. Maybe this one's an F. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, so you can see this is a G. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and then you got some blue B's and stuff like that. And A, okay, close enough. M's, maybe, yeah, reds. Okay, so you can kind of see like that's the bottom right here. That's why I'm reading where the star type is, right? It'll tell you star class. But you can use this to sort of see where they are. And if you scroll out, you can kind of, start to see a different perspective on them. Like you see this one's really far away, but it's really bright, so it's probably like an A or B. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes they're black holes or O stars even, right? Like here's one that's probably a big old A star, all right? Stuff like that. Realistic mode is, again, fairly straightforward. You just look at the stars and you can see their names when you zoom in on them, right? All right. Next, we have Pilots Federation mode. This is the different factions: Federation, Empire, Alliance, Independent, or none. All right. Apply filter to root. You can do that if you want. It's a little more complicated. I don't usually bother with that. The best way to use these sort of menus here is to toggle all back and forth. All right. First off, it'll come on with everything selected. You're gonna want to toggle them off. Say you only want to see the Empire, and then click that. And you can see you gotta scroll in. Notice if we're scrolled out, we're not gonna see it. But if we're scrolled in just enough, we can start to kind of see it. Right. You gotta make sure you're scrolled in. If you're not seeing anything, you're probably not in Empire space, or you're too far scrolled out. All right. And we can just see star systems that are all Imperial. We want to see Alliance ones only. Do that, switch it off, zoom out, try to get an idea of where they are. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? You can start to see the Alliance systems. Pretty straightforward again. Toggle all. We'll go to user data. I believe this is user, something like that. Yeah, user data. And it'll tell you all these certain things you can look up for your own interstellar factors, black market, fleet carrier vendor, right? Let's click fleet carrier vendor. It'll show you all the stars, but they'll glow when they're selling fleet carriers. Let's see, I know Skikiko. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. You can see it. It's a little hard to tell. It's a pinkish color, but that's just the color it's set to, right? You'll see that there. So you can, right, select maybe a tech broker human and see if you can't find yourself a human tech broker or something like that. It's a little tough, it looks like, with all the bookmarks, so I apologize in advance. But that's how you use that. Pretty straightforward again. I don't use this too much. Mostly I use Anara, right? And I say this in most of my videos, anara.cz.charliezulu. You're going to want to go there and search for these things. It's a lot easier, and you'll find the closest one to you. All right, so get used to using Anara rather than the galaxy map for a lot of these things. But when you don't need anything specific, you just need whatever, this can be helpful. Power play, super useful. All right, so let's toggle all powers again. As usual, we toggle them off and then toggle them back on to see them or something, or whichever ones we want to toggle on. And this one is really fun. You can see all where the powers are, including the symbols, which is nice. You get an idea of where they're located in the galaxy. All right, perfect. Now, you're going to want to make sure that you really zoom in and see the different types, right? These are like strongholds here with the stars. The filled in triangles and the lesser triangles are like stronghold, or contested areas, where they're fighting over. They're locked. Like this is a lockdown area, but this one's like less lockdown and this one's not locked down at all, right? You know what I'm saying? So, pretty straightforward stuff for power play, but super useful, super useful. If you like power play, you use this map a lot, all right? And you can also go down and even check, like, say, we're going to toggle everything off, click all these off. I don't know why they don't come off by default, but like, say, I'm Leon Rui, and I want to see expansion systems only, right? All right, so we're scrolling to Leon Rui here, and there are not that many expansion systems to see, but yeah, that's how you would do it, right? I think, like, right, maybe this one. Let's try something better. Strongholds. Yeah, there you go. So you can see a stronghold, right? Pretty cool. All right, let's move on to system colonization map mode, different from the My Colonies map mode. This one is my favorite of them all. Toggle off and then toggle them on, and you'll see why here in a second. It tells you a lot of information. All right, so we have unclaimed, which are like these, like, they're obviously unclaimed by anyone. Invalid, which are red X's. Let me see if I can find one. They're all over the place, especially in the bubble. There's one right there, right? Roll into it there. A red X, and I'll explain that in a moment. There's your colonies, which are yellow. You won't see too many of those, but let me see if I can find one for you here real quick. It's right here. You can see I've got this one. Okay, and you've also got inhabited, right, which you'll see all over the place, right? And so I really like to use this as a way to kind of see the way the galaxy is organized, right? Like, not only in, like, how it's colonized, but also permit lock systems, surprisingly enough. So let me go to a commonly known permit lock system. This is one of those little tips. I'll go over real quick. You can try to turn it into whatever you want, but let me go ahead and try to find a good spot here. Sorry if I'm zooming around a lot and it's wigging. Like I said, perspective is important, so alrighty. All right, here we go. Barnard's Loop and Running Man Orion Nebula. Pretty famous for being locked out, permit locked a lot. So we're gonna zoom into it so we can actually see the stars here. Again, make sure, because like there's a center spot you're zooming in on, right? And you can see how I couldn't see any before, but if I zoomed in and backed up a little bit, that's how I got the stars to show up, right? So, all right, anyway, so now we're here inside the area we're looking at, you can kind of see where these people are like, colonizing towards the center. But we can also, if we zoom out just enough, make sure we have invalid on, you can kind of see the permit locked systems here, right? You get what I'm saying? Look at that. You can see the red, okay? And if you get really good, you can kind of like, you can zoom out just a bit and sort of, right, zoom up and down like this, and you can see like, oh, there's a red patch here. So like this is like really tough to go through. There's like nothing. This whole area is locked off, right? All right. So stuff like that, it's pretty useful in that regard. You can see how much red there really is around here. That's why I selected it. It's notoriously hard to get into, right? But this will help you see the path. All right, so that's a super useful one if you're getting stuck in permit locked areas, or you can't really tell like why you can't go somewhere. It's because of like invalid systems or something. You can see that on the system colonization map. All right, perfect. So population range, not very interesting. It tells you the population range of the systems, right? So you can turn that on, and maybe we say like the minimum. We want to just be huge ass systems, right? So no biggie. Trade routes. This one's interesting. I don't really use this one too much despite being a trader, but it's here if you want it. Pretty complex, but you can see the trade routes for each individual item. And route settings, very important. Here, tell you your current location, and you can also recalculate route and clear your route, though you can usually do that yourself in the navigation tab. But jump data, incredibly important. Make sure you're set to fastest routes, not economical, not FSD boost, no jet cone boost. Don't use none of that unless you actually know what you're doing with the FSD boost or the jet cone boost, okay? You almost should never really be using economical. There's a reason for using it, but I don't really, I'm not going to sit here and explain it too much. Mostly it's if you want to go to more stars, so more jumps along your way, right? There's not very many instances where that's useful. The fastest route is way better, okay? Fastest route will get you there, all right? So just make sure you're set to that. And finally, display options. There's some various things in here, right? You can turn off, like, say if my bookmarks are getting too much, I can just turn off my bookmarks, right? There you go. Stuff like that. Navigation markers, let's see. Community goals, there's none on right now. So stuff like that, pretty easy, though unfortunately there's not much to turn on or off. I very rarely use it. Perfect. All right, now let's talk about the right side here. We're going to talk about the star systems, okay? Let's pick a random one that I do have the system map for. The Yekwape, yeah, okay. Good old Yekwape, Ukaipi. Okay, so once we've selected on the right-hand side, we select the star, you can go ahead and see that we have a bunch of buttons. The first one is the information tab. This is automatic. It'll tell you a whole bunch of good stuff about it. This one, very important right here. It'll tell you like how many people in it, or the type of government, the type of status in boom, or like civil unrest or something. The economy type, that'll tell you what they're selling basically, and they're making. Security level, whether or not you're going to get pirated, and the star information down here. Basically, star class is the only thing you have to really care about. Star type is going to be kind of, I mean, you can use it if you want, but it tells you kind of what the star is like outside of just it's a red dwarf, right? What kind of red dwarf it is. They usually don't need to know. All right, and you got the power play information here as well. Useful. That's about what shows up in the power play thing anyways. You got your market information. You can be useful. I hardly ever use it. Your stored chips. So if you've stored chips here, you can see I have, and you can see them. Your system missions if you have any missions in that system, any friends in that system. You can also plot a route by clicking this. So just like that, boom, plotted a route. Let's unplot that route, clear the destination. You can set it as a target, so zoom in on it if you've already selected it, but you like say, watch, we scrolled way far. Let's select it first. And let's scroll out. We can go ahead and clear and then reselect, and we zoom in on it. Beautiful. Okay. And you can also buy the trending trade data if you're close enough. It just shows you like a cool little like link to where it's sending trades. You can target focus, right? It just focuses it, like say if you're off the screen. Bada bing, bada boom. And copy target name. This will be super useful. Like say you don't want to type this into an ARA every time. Cruises sector MI-D B3- just copy that. It's copied to your clipboard. You just paste it in now. All right. And the one I skipped over, besides the bookmark ones, which are pretty straightforward, is the view system map. Now, if you've been there or you've bought the data, you can actually view the system map from far away. Now, if you haven't been there, then you can't. Sorry. All right. So since I've been there, we can view the system map, and we'll just take a quick look. This is more of a galaxy map video, not a system map video. But you can see all the different, planets or whatever. If you haven't discovered them, like then they won't be here. So you may be wondering like, why doesn't it look the same? That's why. All right. You can see the stations as well. You can also target things here and see a whole lot of information about them as well. Much the same as the regular galaxy map. And we can go back with this or backspace. And that's pretty much all there is to the galaxy map. Now, let me give you a couple more tips here. All right. So first off, you're going to want to know that in the galaxy map, there are a couple of key locations. Obviously, this is the bubble. Okay. And if you ever want to find the bubble, you just type in Sol, obviously, and scroll to Sol. All right. And if you need to like see how you can zoom out, that's where Sol is. That's where the bubble is. Okay. Usually pretty easy to find for you because you should already be there. If you want to know where Colonia is, you can see I've already got a bookmark, but let's go ahead and just type in Colonia. Beautiful. And we'll scroll into Colonia. You can kind of see where I'm going with this, right? If you ever need to find something, you can just type it in up here. And not only that, but you can see, like, I don't remember if it's Colonia, Colonio, so I just type in Colonia and then see, okay, Colonia. Okay, there's no Colonio, right? You get what I'm saying? That's very useful for that. Like, say if you, like, it's like Crucis sector MI-TB3-what, and you're like, and then, okay, there are a few of them here. It's, right, this one or something, right? Gotcha. Beautiful. That's simple. And it'll zoom you all the way over there. Okay. And there's also the area of Sagittarius A star, the center of the galaxy. All right, pretty popular place to go to. You might want to bookmark that anyways, but it's pretty big. It's like it's bookmarked anyways. I have a bookmark because it's so important to me. And plus, there's the S2 star there. And you can see there are a lot of stars here, so enjoy the lag. But yeah, those are the most common areas. It's like triangle, right? There's also a Beagle Point way out here. Okay, another very popular destination if you're a true explorer. Okay, and that's pretty much all there is to it. That's all there is to it here. You might notice that if you type up here and you've typed all this out and you go to type another letter, it's like, oh, it erased everything. Yeah, that happens. You gotta be a little quick or just copy and paste things in, right? Mostly just use Nara. Just copy it from Nara. There's a little copy button there too, and just paste it in if you want. Or if you're really quick at typing it out, right? You just type it out. Again, that's all there is to it. Let me know if you have any more questions about how to use the galaxy map. I'd be glad to answer them. And just leave it in the comments below. All right, have a good one.